Hello, welcome to our next show on Channel 6 TV. We appreciate Gary having us here today. Lynn Potter and I have a lot and a multitude of things to discuss. We hope you find it interesting. And first of all, we're going to start talking about Derby. And I don't think I said my name, but I'm Wilma Sorrell. And
I'm Lynn Potter.
Yes. So Lynn, you have a fascinator on today. Have you ever worn a fascinator?
I have not, and I am privileged to wear this because you brought it, and you have a couple that are up here. I have not. I like it because it doesn't really, you don't have to really worry about it messing up your hair too much.
Right.
Or getting too hot or blocking my eyesight. So,
as this hat is doing to mine. And it's heavy. And when I know you have some tidbits that you're going to talk about with Derby fashion, and women go to the Derby to be seen. It's all about the clothes you wear, the hat you wear, more the hat. So we brought a few things today. We do have a lot of shops here in Bardstown that really cater to the Derby and Oaks clientele. They have fascinators, they have hats. We have Peacock on 3rd, we have Merrill Norman, we have Pink. There's probably a few others, but there's just a lot of places who cater to the clientele who are going to go to Oaks and Derby. Talking about Oaks, the reason I have the pink hat on, I think I'm rocking in the pink. Friday on Oaks Day, I think that's May the 1st. That is, that's Survivors Day at the Oaks. And the Oaks is the lilies for the fillies. And the reason I know a lot about the Oaks and Derby is because I have had the privilege to work up there for the last 8 years. I started as a fundraiser with my son at Nelson County, and it's just grown into like a little part-time fun event that I like to work every year. But we had a contest on Facebook through Oaks and Derby, through the Derby, and I voted for a friend of mine, Annie Roughton Boone, who lives in Washington County. I had the privilege of teaching her youth, her 8th grade students, for about 4 or 5 years, Too Good for Drugs and Too Good for Violence over there. So I got to know Annie real well, and she is, while she was pregnant with her 3rd child, I believe, she found out she had breast cancer. Oh. So as soon as she had her child, she had to have a complete mastectomy, and going through all the radiation and all the emotions that go through that. So when we found out that this contest was going on, we voted, and a bunch of people voted. Well, she got the top 10 votes, and she's going to be in the Survivors, 10th place in the Survivors Walk on Oaks Day. So I'll get to see Annie up there, and Annie, you will rock it that day. It gives me cold chills to know that you'll be there, and I think we have another local Nelson County lady that's going to be there.
That's right. I'm friends with Michelle Hayes, and I believe it's either number 64 or 67 that she was voted as to walk, and I think that it's out of 114.
I think it was.
So there's 114
participants, women who will actually, they'll all have their seats in one area of grandstand area, and then they'll bring them up and walk them on the red carpet, which on Derby Day is where the celebrities will walk. So they'll get to walk on the red carpet area, and then they'll get to walk out and present, I believe, a trophy to one of the winners of one of the races.
Oh,
so
nice.
It's a really neat day for these women who have overcome and still going through these obstacles of cancer.
Yes.
And so we want to think about them on Oaks Day. And we know that Oaks Day is a fun day, but remember our cancer survivors that are going to be walking that day.
And make sure you're out there, if you're there at Oaks, cheer them on. And you're encouraged to wear pink, men too.
Pink.
And,
yes, we have a lot of men that come, I mean, the majority of men will wear something with pink. A pink tie, a pink shirt, a pink corsages. You'll see a lot of pink that day, hence the pink on me today. You know, it's just a standard for the Oaks Day.
It's very nice.
Lynn, you have some tips about Derby fashion, Derby hats. Would you mind reading that to us and letting us know what the go-to thing is for Oaks and Derby?
I try to keep in touch with what the Louisville paper is letting people know about fashion and what to wear this year. And I know that they're having that Macy's fashion show. And I Googled just the other day Kentucky Derby fashion for 2015. And it just says that the Kentucky Derby is synonymous with not only thoroughbred racing, but also fashion watching. People dress up in unique and colorful ways to the Kentucky Derby, tweaking their dress sense according to the weather. And weather is so unpredictable, as everybody knows. I mean, I have had the experience of attending the Derby and the Oaks. It's been several years, but I can remember picking my dress and hat and outfit and my shoes, and being cold.
I go shopping the week of, just because you don't know what the weather's going to be until about 3 to 4 days before.
Or you could go shopping and you could pick several dresses, and then
That has happened, yes.
and then you can have your pick of what dress might be appropriate to wear. But it does talk about hats, and everyone wears a hat to the race. The prices all vary. Sometimes women make their own hats, and they're able to be very frugal about it. They might go to thrift stores or consignment shops or flea markets and grab a hat and recreate it, refurbish it with flowers. It's amazing what you can do.
Flowers and scarves. And I've had, like I said, I've had the pleasure of working the Oaks and Derby for many years now, and many of the hats are made, unless they're a celebrity and they're buying the $1,000 hats, but many hats are made. People will make their own hats. They'll get a plain hat like this, throw some flowers on it, and throw a scarf on it, and away they go.
Now, this weekend is the at the Nelson County High School, it's the Antique Show. And several years ago, when I went to the Antique Show, I found a navy blue antique woman's hat, and it had red roses on it, and then I kind of embellished it a little bit, and I felt like Pretty Woman. I felt like Pretty Woman when I went to the Derby. I think that was in maybe 2003 or 2004. And I had a navy blue and white polka dot dress and my hat.
And somebody might have wore that hat 40 years ago to the Derby, or 50 years ago to the Derby.
I was really drawn to it, and I think I paid maybe $30 for it. And so it's just kind of nice when you can, put your own spin on what kind of hat you want to wear. And but there are hat tips, which I didn't really know about. The hat should be positioned an inch or two above the ears, as everybody cannot see it if it is placed too much behind the head.
So an inch or two.
Above the ears.
And so it's not supposed to be back like this. It's supposed to be more towards the top, in front maybe, and right above the ear.
And yours looks like it's an inch or two above the ear. But did you know that if you do not have a hat, it's scandalous?
It is.
That's what it says on this
really
website.
is.
2015 Derby
You have
tips
to wear something.
for fashion. Yeah, it's scandalous if you do not have a hat. So the hat, again, women at the Derby are a privileged lot, as they are not expected to remove their hats all day long. And that is a challenge, because I can tell you sometimes if it is hot and humid and muggy and everything, or if it is raining and you just are like, can't wait sometimes to get that hat off. Hat head. And you get hat head and hat hair. And so to be on the safe side, women should wear only comfortable hats and secure them with pins. And women should also avoid wearing wide brim hats, as they could make their neighbors feel uncomfortable. And then men, on the other hand, if they have hats.
My husband actually has like 4 or 5 of the small Derby hats that he loves to wear every year. And so, yeah, you want to get a nice springy color they make a lot of really cool hats, and you can get them for men really inexpensive.
Fedoras are
Fedoras,
like
that's what he has.
that's the big thing that's really in this year is the fedoras. But
And if you don't want the hat like this, would probably really get to me all day, the fascinators
Yep.
are a good go-to option, and they just look cute any way you wear them.
that looks good. It matches your eyes.
And so you can just put this on, and it doesn't cause the hat hair.
That looks really good.
Right.
And even, it's a contrast
Yeah.
to the pink, where that might be maybe too much pink.
much pink.
Where the navy blue kind of offsets that. It goes with your white pants.
Right.
So
So you can mix and match, and you want to make sure it looks good, but do your own style with it.
A couple weekends ago, Wilma and I did the walk for Reagan Carter, the memorial walk for Reagan. And there was just a whole bunch of a group of us people walking, and the route took us downtown, and there was a bunch of us women that walked by Pink, the consignment shop Pink, and she had the most beautiful hats in the window. And I can remember there was a black hat, and it had a ivory color ribbon, and it had horses on the ribbon.
And someone actually made her hats.
Yeah, it was, and I think, was that hat like maybe
About $80.
80 or something, which, the thing with hats is that you can reuse them over the years, and, you can get, or lend them to your friends.
I have done that. If you go downtown and purchase a hat and you hear that from us, please let them know you've seen that on Channel 6 that they do have hats. I know, let them know where you heard that they have hats at. So go downtown, do some local shopping, get your Derby attire here in Nelson County. What about this rain today, Lynn?
It's crazy. I had to go over to E-Town today, and it was clear most of the way. On the way back, there was it was lightning, and the skies were all dark. It looked like it was going to be,
A deluge.
pretty volatile.
Yeah, it's real muggy. Today I went walking downtown on my lunch break, and
it was in the 70s.
oh, it felt like it was 90 degrees and muggy. It was miserable.
I was in, after my doctor's appointment that I had over in E-Town, of course, if I'm going to go over to E-Town, I love to go to some of my favorite shopping places. And one of them is TJ Maxx. Well, oh my gosh, I don't know if there's something wrong with their air conditioning or not, because sweat was just rolling off me in there. It was just so humid and muggy.
I think that's a lot of it. People just have not turned it on, their air on yet, because it has been so cool, and we just haven't had any really hot weather yet. They said today was the first 80-degree day we've had.
Well, I know that there's a lot of people out there that have predictions saying that because we've had, a rough winter, and that instead of having spring at all, that they predict that we're just going to go into summer weather. That they're kind of that it's kind of going to skip spring and go right into summer. And I don't know.
Well, we are fortunate that March we had no tornadoes, we had no severe weather in March, and then it's going into the middle of April right now, and so we're starting to see those storms pop up, and it happens to be right when I get off work at 5, and I'm running to my car going, don't tear up my umbrella. So have you seen, talking about, not getting off the subject, but kind of am about the weather, but have you seen the commercial about, we were talking about Derby and how women look, and there's a new commercial, and I shared it on my Facebook page about the Dove commercial about women. There's 2 doors, and they did this study in 4 or 5 different countries, and America was one of them. These women, they put 2 signs on the door, average and beautiful. It was really cool to look at, to watch it. Well, many of the women went through the average door. What door would you go through?
I would have gone through the average.
Me too.
There are so many beautiful women in this world.
So why do you think that you're not among them?
Oh, wow.
See?
Good question. I don't know. I hope that I'm humble enough.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Well, what about beautiful inside? Instead of maybe just face and, you know, the right size, because I think not one person in this world thinks they're the perfect size or the perfect.
Yeah, I understand that because you know, even when I was smaller, I never thought I was small enough, and you know, and when I taught exercise classes and I ran for years, and my body was in pretty good shape, and it's like you're always. I think as women, we're always unsatisfied. We always think that we're fat. We always think that there's something that we need to change. I think that we try to measure up to standards that are not realistic. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I can speak for myself, but I think that a lot of other women would agree.
Mm-hmm. It was interesting watching this Dove video, and there was a mother that had her daughters with her. The daughters immediately were going to the average, and the mother pulled the daughter and said, "No, you're beautiful. You're going to go through this door." And it was sweet, and it kind of gave you chills, because what message are we sending to the girls out mm-hmm. there? We just want to let you know that we think every woman that are watching or not watching, they're beautiful. Everyone has a beautiful attribute, whether it's inside or out, or both, and just try to bring out the best every day.
So as like Meghan Trainor says with All About the Bass, yeah, I'm not a size 2, but I can shake it.
I love that song. It's all about the bass, about the bass.
But it's all. But if you see the video for that, or if you listen to all the lyrics, she's speaking about that in general. Mm-hmm. That we're all different shapes and sizes as women, and we need to embrace that mm-hmm. because.
And men too. We think mm-hmm. that our young boys are getting stereotyped that you have to
six-pack abs
and things. And you know, I just want to be healthy at this point, mm-hmm. and you know, hitting that milestone.
Yeah.
You know, you just want to be healthy. And so I play volleyball on Monday nights. I'm still walking every day now that the weather's gotten better. And so just trying to keeping on, I guess.
That's good. That's great. You know, just what we're talking about with body image and women in general, my daughter-in-law on Facebook posted this real interesting story about a woman, I think it's Australia, that goes around to flea markets and different places and gets dolls, and the ones that she was featuring in this video of her, it was the Bratz dolls.
Oh yeah.
And so she takes their faces completely off.
All the makeup and everything?
She has some kind of a liquid.
Like a cleanser.
That removes the doll, everything about the doll, so it's like a clean slate. And then she starts making the doll over to look more like a young woman should look like. You know, without all that makeup, mm-hmm. without all that, mm-hmm. You know, embellishments, mm-hmm. and you know, because the Bratz dolls they normally would have like mascara, like long eyelashes, and their lips would be a bright lip color, and you know, they're really made up a lot. Their eyeshadow is really heavy, and eyeliner is really heavy,
yeah.
And so and then she also takes and has her mother make some of these mm-hmm. clothes for them. Mm-hmm. So she redesigns them with a different face, does something with the hair. It's beautiful. They look beautiful, and it's a family business. Like I said, her mother makes some of the clothes, and then she herself makes some clothes, and they're just given to other young girls. Mm-hmm. And
we just want our young people to have a positive image about themselves, no matter what. Mm-hmm. And it's hard. I went through middle school, high school, having red hair, being made fun of, you know, freckles, and you know, just it's hard. So it took a long time to realize that I'm okay the way I am, and so I know the struggle that kids have today.
Well, and I know that is something that especially middle school girls really struggle. Middle school is a time where, you know, you're really becoming looking at yourself inside and out, and comparing yourself with others, and thinking about your friends, and so I know that self-esteem is a huge issue with a lot of our middle school girls. And my fellow coworker and coordinator, Stephanie Harrison, has a wonderful program that she does with Bloomfield Middle, and it's a sister empowerment group. And so she's working with some young girls and trying to do some self-esteem building activities to give them the empowerment skills that they need to go out into this world. I've done something similar in the past. It's been several years. I did have an educator from Silverleaf Advocacy and Support. It's for rape crisis and body safety. And I've had someone come out and work with a group of middle school girls a couple of years ago, and she would come out once a month and do activities. So it's important, I think, that we need to find a way to do more activities to empower our young women and young girls.
And not only in the beauty aspect, that women have, and young girls have caught up in the core, the STEM, science, technology.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And mathematics. So our young ladies are a lot of times scoring above the boys. So now they're doing things to get the boys now to catch up. So it's like, okay, what group are we going to work with this year to get them to catch up? So I think it's all about studying, getting out there and studying.